Patterson. I'm a junior.
Hi, my name is Abena and I'm a senior.
And we're from EBN. And we have.
Hi, my name is Akinwale and Antonio. I graduated last year. I am now a freshman at Cornell University.
Hi, I'm Antonio Gutierrez. I'm class of 20, and I'm currently I'm going to be a junior in Cornell University.
Okay. So, what is something you wish you had known before you went to college?
There's a lot of things I wish I knew before I went to college. But the first thing that you should understand is you should not compare yourself to other people when you go to college. Everyone's from different backgrounds. So if you see someone doing this, understand you're from a different place and you possibly get to that place, but don't stress over many factors that you can't control in college. That's the number one thing.
And building upon things you can't really control, I just want to say that in college it's so much of a different environment that you kind of have to be prepared to get humbled in a way. I know it sounds a little harsh, but things are not gonna go exactly your way, and you're not gonna always be but I mean, either way, you're gonna just power through. So I mean, you just gotta brace for that and prepare to adapt from there.
Yeah.
Good points. So our next question is, what advice would you give to our juniors as they begin thinking about college? So maybe something you would have done differently.
All right. Yeah. So for my juniors, I would like to say that don't underestimate the role of the environment or the place, the campus that your college is like, because there's going to be certain things that are not in your control that are just part of the city that you're in, or part of the climate and all of these things, and you kind of have to take this into account, because I don't know, because it kind of you have to okay, I don't know. That's why we're going through it.
I don't understand what you're saying. The environment definitely affects the way you think in college, the way you interact with people in college. So it's very wise to make sure actually understand their environment you go into in college. But my advice for juniors is basically start thinking about your essays, start thinking about because senior year can be very stressful, but it's very helpful if you do it your junior summer to start preparing. So you're not cramped up with work as a senior, because usually that's when applications have to go out. Then you have to worry about APs because you're taking more advanced classes. So you just have to worry about that kind of stuff. And then another advice is don't think that once I get into college, that's when I want to open up. Try to open up now, because in college, it's, how do I say this? You want to maximize as much as you can in college. So in freshman year, a lot of people are very shy, very coy, and it leaves little room to make those connections early on, because those are important. You have to make those connections early on. So try to open up more as a senior or as a junior. So when you get to college, it's significantly much easier.
Yeah. So as a senior or junior here in high school, when you're developing your communication skills and developing your connecting skills, you'd rather have it develop and go through trial and error while you already know the people, than when you're already connecting with people that you don't know.
Exactly.
So it's a good start.
Okay, you guys kind of touched on the next question. So, I have a personal question. Often we hear being from a smaller town, you hear the phrase "oh, I was a big fish in a small pond." Do you guys relate to that phrase? Did you feel you were a big fish in a small pond, and then you got to college and there were so many other big fish?
I don't consider myself a big fish. I do know what you mean though. Doing a lot of stuff, being involved in a lot of things, and all of a sudden you get to college and there's so many people doing so many wonderful different things, and you feel oh, I'm not worthy of doing the same things as they are, or I'm not in the same position as those people doing. You can't really compare. You have to understand the different optics of it. But I'll say, yeah, it was definitely a shock to me, considering how I'm not gonna be well known. So I'm except for Antonio and except for Nigel, I was I know basically nobody here. But it takes time to build up that reputation of becoming the big fish in the pond. Yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to being a big fish or a small fish, um, when you go into college, because it's so much different, you will, I don't know, you'll feel like a small fish all over again. But like, just because that happens, I feel like you shouldn't really let that deter you, and you should kind of just like stay in your own lane. But at the same time, when it comes to becoming a big fish, the accomplishments and achievements, they're gonna come to you if you pursue them. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it's on and off too. It can fluctuate. So like sometimes you feel like, oh, like everyone knows me on campus because like we had a concert. We're part of the same acapella group, and everyone was talking about it's like
Oh
the
my
day
God,
after.
I had random people following.
Random, exactly.
Oh,
But then all of a sudden, you go back on the street, and then literally like no one bats an eye when you're walking by. So it fluctuates.
Well, thank you for answering our questions,
Yeah.
guys. That was great.
No problem.
It was so good to see you.
Yeah. No, it's good to see you guys as well. It's good to see you
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks for coming back and visiting us. This is amazing.
No problem.
Thank you so much.